Thank you so much, Cameo. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing amazing. I know this summit has been great so far. Just the nuggets that I caught in a short period of time has been really valuable. So I hope everyone is getting value out of this. Let me share my screen now so we can get this party started. 1 second. Can everybody see my screen? Are we good?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. So today we'll be talking about how to create a sales funnel that converts into cash. So who wants more money, more clients, just more people to actually serve in their business, their financial profession, and so forth? Please let me know in the chat. Me, okay. Like you said, me, okay, y'all ready. Just want to make sure we're in the right virtual room today. So just a little bit about more about me. So I am a former licensed investment broker turned sales funnel expert. So I did work in corporate finance for many years. I held my securities licenses, my Series 7, Series 63 licenses. I have since transitioned out of corporate and started this company called The Funnel Doctor. That is what they call me, and also the name of our company. I've taught thousands of students online. Work with hundreds of different businesses, from e-commerce businesses, information products, service-based businesses. We have worked with a lot of financial professionals as well. Worked with countless 6 and 7-figure brands, and have a strong passion for teaching online sales and marketing to other entrepreneurs. Okay, so we'll really be talking about, why you need to do business online. There's so much opportunity. Being a business owner, of course, gives you tax advantages that you can't get only being a W-2 employee. Nothing wrong with being a W-2 employee, but of course, we know the way America works, and pretty much it gives you tax advantages that you cannot get anywhere else. So that's definitely something that we want to take advantage of. Also gives you the ability to build wealth. Also, you can work from virtually anywhere in the world. I know me personally, I can be in different countries. I travel a lot in different states. And as long as I have a Wi-Fi connection, I'm able to actually work, run my business, and still make money as well. Also, when you have an online business, it has less overhead and financial commitment to start and keep running. Some people in here may be old school, where, if you, prior years, if you had a business, you almost had to have a brick and mortar location. It's like paying first month, last month rent, security deposit. There were a lot of financial costs to actually get to market. Now, with online businesses, you can literally get a product or service out to market really fast and very, very cost effective. So we need to be taking advantage of that. Also, of course, retail is dying a slow death, and this is also mandatory for bootstrappers. So if you're a bootstrapper, let me know, type it in the chat. That basically means if you are funding this yourself, if you don't have a rich family member you can call and get venture capital and stuff like that, you don't have, investors, or even been on Shark Tank, crowdfunding, and that type of stuff, let me know if that's you. Type something in the chat. Okay, I see Barbara says me. So let's break down a sales funnel. So what is a sales funnel? Who already here already knows what a sales funnel is? Let me know. I want to gauge the room. Okay, Barbara says me. Great. Okay, great. Anybody else? Right, me. Okay, great. So basically, it's just a step-by-step process that allows you to bring your potential customer one step closer to your offer and a buying decision through a series of marketing actions like automated emails, videos, articles, landing pages. Here's the key. That will do the selling for you. So how many of you would like a system that will actually do the selling for you where you don't have to work as hard? Let me know about that. Also, you may hear referred to as the customer journey. And there are several steps of a funnel: top of funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. For time's sake, we won't be able to go into all the nuances today, but it can vary depending on the company's sales model. And it's basically a step-by-step process to sell your products and services. Now, I know when I first got started in business, I didn't think about what I offered as like a system. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I was passionate about, but I didn't think about, how do I bring someone through a system from actually becoming a lead to a paying customer? And once I developed that, once I understood that, I really implemented it. So, just think about, and it's something that I always look at anytime I go and I'm shopping online, offline, wherever I'm at, I'm always looking at the sales process. Like, think about the sales process for what you offer. Like, what is that process? If someone's first introduced to you when they need financial advice, if they need help with their portfolio and so forth, what's the first introduction? How do you welcome them? How do you nurture them and so forth? And how do you just get them on your list and actually get them to become an actually paying client? So really think about that. So you can do that through doing numbers different ways, through upsells, downsells, cross sells. And the main reason why you do that is to really maximize the customer lifetime value. So if someone spends with you, if they're on a monthly retainer, if it's based on AUM, assets under management, like whatever it is, how can we get them to spend more or invest more or actually increase the likelihood and the lifetime value of the customer? Like that's the core elements of your funnel. Really thinking about that. Okay, so what we're going to cover during this training, the true definition of a sales funnel and a breakdown, which we basically just did, why you must build your list 24/7, how to acquire more customers and retain them longer, paid traffic and retargeting, and how to analyze your funnels and know if it's working or not. So a little bit more about my backstory. So when I first did get started, I knew nothing about any of this stuff, nothing about online sales and marketing. I never sold anything online. I don't come from an entrepreneur family. How many of us that, that come from an entrepreneur family, or I'm saying don't come from an entrepreneur family, but have a business or entrepreneur, we have challenges and we go through a lot of stuff that we can't always share with everyone. So I know generally most people that are entrepreneurs, if you're first generation entrepreneurs, it's an uphill battle. It can be, struggling at times because most people around us don't understand us. Also, again, I've had no startup capital, no investors, no angel investing, never been on Shark Tank, anything like that. But I can say that these principles have literally changed my life. So I've been able to 10x my corporate salary just by understanding these principles. That's why this stuff is so important. It also gave me the ability to be profitable. So profitability is also something in business I don't think a lot of people talk about enough. Talk about top line revenue, gross sales, and so forth. But it's like, okay, how can we actually bring more home? So once you have the right sales system in place, that allows you to increase your net revenue as well. Okay, so now let's talk about truly knowing your customer avatar. So here's my 8-step formula: how to fill your funnel with different prospects, how to qualify your leads, an action plan to get in front of more leads, CRM and systems, how to develop a winning sales pitch, how to out hustle your competition, retargeting for results and revenue, and how to always be closing new clients. Let's ABC, always be closing new clients. Okay, how to fill your funnel with prospects. So there's a principle called the Dream 100. Is anybody here familiar with the Dream 100 concept? Okay, no, see some notes. Okay, good. So basically, these are 3 different books you can read about it, but it's basically about whatever you offer. I know they're financial professionals here, advisors, and so forth. But I know even with the financial professional or an advisor, there are many different areas. Some people only do ultra high net worth. Some people only offer certain products. So whatever it is, you want to think about who out there already has your ideal customer. So it may be a certain company you want to partner with. It may be a brokerage. It may be an influencer. Like it may be someone, a Susie Orman, like whoever it is. But thinking about who already has your ideal customer or client, and how can we actually get in front of their audience? So the Dream 100 is basically identifying 100 people or more that have your ideal client, and how can we get in front of their list? So that may be people that have them on their social media channels, on their podcast, on their email list, on their radio show, whatever it is, but really identifying again who has our ideal client and how do we infiltrate that? How do we get in front of them? How do we build relationships with the stakeholders? So that's something very important because me personally, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to try to always have to figure something out. And we're talking about getting more prospects, getting more leads, getting more clients. Traffic is already out there. The people already exist. The main thing is how do we position ourselves to get in front of the people that are already out there and where are they congregating? Let me know if that makes sense. So you definitely have to have enough people at the top of your funnel to hit your goal at the bottom. So if you have a revenue goal, if you say, I want to increase sales, I want to increase client, I want to increase AUM, if you don't have enough leads coming through at the top, you'll never hit your sales goal at the bottom. Of course, it's a numbers game. You want to find out what your close rate is. So like if you talk to 100 leads in a month or whatever time period, what percentage of those do you actually close? I'm really looking at that. So that's how that's another KPI or indicator of like how you can grow your business is like if you know your close rate and you say, okay, well, I know I close 15% of everyone I talk to. How do I just talk to more people? But if you don't know your close rate, then you're kind of just shooting in the dark. Also, you want to be very, very clear on your avatar, especially in the finance industry. Everyone is not the same. So if someone is already retired, you deal with retirees. If someone is going to be retired, if you deal with millennials, if you deal with Gen X people, if you deal with, certain financial products, like whatever the case may be, it could be just dealing with people trying to send their kids to college, education accounts, ESAs, 529s, UTMAs, like whatever the case may be, you want to really think about like who is your ideal avatar? What net worth does your avatar already have? What is their income already? What are their assets? Like different things like that. You want to really, really be clear on your avatar. So when it comes to your customer avatar, of course, who is the ideal person, the ideal investor, and so forth, demographics and psychographics. So of course, demographics, age, gender, socioeconomic status, but also the psychographics. How do they feel when they encounter you or want to do business with you? Do they feel overwhelmed? Are they, in a place of desperation? You like think about really like psychographically, like how do they feel? And if this is not clear, all your messaging will be confusing. And a confused mind does not invest or buy or do business with you. Can you clearly communicate what problem that you solve? So you're not selling services, you're not buying anything from you. You're solving a problem in the marketplace. I want to send my kids to college. I want to have a comfortable retirement. I want to have dividends coming in that can help me and supplement my income, like whatever the case may be. Also, you want to build the know, like, and trust as much as possible. And if you're trying to sell to everyone, you're actually selling to no one. Now let's talk about qualifying your leads. So when it comes to qualifying your leads, again, like what type of investment strategy is your lead looking for? Do research before pursuing them. What other professionals have they worked with or companies or so forth? And also, if you disqualify people, the faster the better. I like that as well. So marketing is not just about attracting the right people, it's actually about repelling the wrong ones as well. And then you want to develop a system or series of questions that will indicate if they are a good fit or not. A lot of times, just people in the service industry as well that sell services, a lot of times we're getting on calls or talking to leads where we could have just literally got them out the way early, whether it's through like a questionnaire, whether that's through an assessment, like whatever the case may be. You shouldn't even really be getting on sales calls or having meetings with people that don't even meet a certain criteria. So like as soon as they reach out to you, encounter you, fill in the contact form on your website, from there should be an assessment of asking certain questions before you can even go to the next step of getting on a call and discussing different options. The action plan to get in front of more leads. So figure out again where they're congregating. Do you have any mutual relationships? Close the gap in degrees of separation. Definitely utilizing social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, thinking about who is the ideal person if they are on social media. How do we use social media to actually get in front of them? Always leading with value. And then cold emails and cold calls as a last resort. I know a lot of people like this stuff. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I like to really build a relationship with people after they've already either opted in or got familiar with me, or I've given some value. I'm not really a big fan of cold calling and cold email. Some people are. Me personally, I'm not. And then also having an irresistible offer, focusing on acquisition, joint venture partnerships, affiliate relationships, having a referral program, and definitely networking events. The irresistible offer part is important, and it may be kind of tricky with, in the financial professional world, but the way I would look at it is there are a million financial advisors, professionals, companies, brokerage houses, and so forth. Why should someone come and work with you as opposed to someone else? So we call that our USP, our unique selling proposition. Like why, like what sets you apart from everyone else? So understanding that and then being able to clearly communicate that. So again, I think that's extremely important. I watch CNBC all the time. I see tons of commercials. I get stuff in the mail. I see ads pop up. Like I see a lot of different stuff. And I would always think like, okay, well, why should someone work with you as opposed to someone else? Is it the fee structure? Is it the communication? Is it the results you get? Like whatever it is, everyone's talking about how they get the lowest basis points. Everybody's talking about how they're the best advisors. Like everybody's talking about all the things. But like again, how can you clearly communicate what you do and being able to let people know about that and using that to attract more people? Let me know if that makes sense. Okay, just checking the chat. Okay, CRM and systems. So you want to definitely set up a tracking system to manage all your leads. The fortune is in the follow-up. You want to make sure you are following up with people. You may forget to follow up, but a system will not. Definitely have automation, have things automated. Once they get on your list, they get in your world, they fill out a contact form. Having the welcome sequence or a nurturing sequence as soon as someone is introduced to you. Definitely using a dynamic CRM system or a Kanban. Kanban is like, it's like a project management term where you basically can see like where people are in the journey or your process. Are they just an intake? Have they moved to the next phase? Are they a client? Are they recurring? Like so forth. We use that in our agency as well. And then also having behavior-based marketing. Someone type in the chat, behavior-based marketing. So basically, if you have a list of people, clients, prospects, whatever, generally not everyone is at the same stage in your funnel. I use Redtail Constant Contact. That's great. I love Constant Contact. Not that familiar with Redtail, but I know Constant Contact is solid. So again, generally, most people are at different active campaigns. That's one I use. It's one of my favorites. Generally, people are at different stages in your funnel. So you want to speak to them in different ways. So someone just became a prospect and they're just introduced to you. It's certain messaging and communication we want to talk to them with. If someone is already a client and maybe they got a product through you, or maybe they're not recurring, whatever it is, however it works, we want to speak to them different as opposed to someone who's only a prospect. So that is behavior-based marketing. I love Wealth Box Opportunities Pipeline, which is a Kanban style. Okay, great. So here are some of my favorite CRMs or tools or project management tools. We already talked about some of them. So Go High Level is a great one. Zoho, HubSpot, Active Campaign, Keep, Teamwork, project management tool. Salesforce is another great CRM. And then Asana is a really great project management tool as well. Okay, how to out hustle the competition. So a strategic sales funnel will do a lot of the selling for you. Again, having something that's going to attract people, that can be through like a lead magnet. So that's something of value that you give in exchange for people's information. It could be a pamphlet, an ebook, a guide. Another funnel that we're doing a lot for financial professionals are like quiz funnels. So quiz funnels are great for two main reasons. Number one, it's like a mini assessment where you can ask people certain questions. And then to see the results of my quiz as a prospect, I have to give you my name and email, phone number, contact information. So as a professional, it helps build your list. And then the second main reason, it helps you segment people. So like you see that, well, this person interested in this as opposed to that. So now I can speak to them differently. And the more leads you have, the more clients you will close. Also want to use scarcity. So scarcity is another really important like marketing term and sales tactic of like, getting people to take action now. Like, I don't like people who are just, wishy-washy on the fence of like, listen, you want to take action here, now or never. So it's like whether that's using different types of scarcity, whether that's saying, let's talk about the opportunity cost, well, it's going to cost too much. Well, what's the cost of you not saving for retirement? What's the cost of you not saving money for your kids' education? We already know student loan debt is crazy. College expenses are going up. So like thinking about opportunity costs, scarcity, and getting people to take action now. FOMO. So that's fear of missing out. Definitely want to utilize that as well. So also just gauging the room, whether you're in person, whether you're virtual, understanding people's needs, and also asking open-ended or direct response questions. Not you know, I'm sorry, not asking not open-ended or more so direct response questions. Like I want to get a direct answer. I don't want you to be able to him and haw and stuff like that. Like I want to get a direct answer of like what you need help with. Are you ready to take action? And if you're not, that's okay. But we really want to know. So retargeting results in revenue. This is one of my favorite things. So when we talk about retargeting, when it comes to ads and stuff like that, so retargeting is a form of online advertising that advertisers use basically to target consumers based on the previous internet behavior. So what retargeting does is it tags online users by including a pixel within someone's website, landing page, emails, basically sets a cookie on the user's browser to show up in their feed after a set action has been taken. So if you ever went on a website to buy something, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but now they're following you all over the internet. Let me know if that's ever happened to you. So that is them retargeting you. So you can do that through Facebook, Instagram, other advertising channels. Our agency specializes in Facebook and Instagram ads. So basically, the way we do that is through, again, that pixel. It's just a piece of HTML code that Facebook gives you to put on your website or different places. Now you can track activity. So every person here needs to have a pixel on your website. So anytime someone goes to your website, they fill out a contact form, they schedule a call, in any way interact with you online, now we want to be able to retarget them and show it back in their feed. In marketing, they say it takes someone on average 7 times to do business with you. But I was at a conference recently. Now they say it's 30 to 40 times. So 30 to 40 times on average that someone needs to see your stuff before they're ready to take action. And the way we do that easily and automated is through retargeting. So when it comes to that, again, make sure your Facebook pixel is installed. You can create custom audiences with the Facebook. So if you have a lead, a list of leads or a list of clients or a database or whatever, if you buy leads, however you get them, and you put them in like an Excel sheet or a CSV file, you can actually upload that to Facebook and then retarget and get in front of those people. You can do dynamic creative ads where you create different images, copies, videos, and then Facebook will slice them up like a pizza and you have different creatives out there. Also, you want to know your numbers. So what does it cost for you to fulfill your service? What's your acquisition cost? What are your costs of goods sold? What are your KPIs? Everything, all your metrics you need to hit. Again, your cost to acquire, COGS, cost of goods sold, key performance indicators. You also want to run remarketing ads, like the one showing up on Google and different places and Gmail. That stuff that's effective as well. How to always be closing new clients. So the more meetings and conversations, Zoom calls and stuff you have, the more comfortable, of course, you get with closing. And again, it's a numbers game. So again, the more leads you have, the more people in your world, the more sales generally that you will get. And the more interaction, the questions from leads, the more likely you are to close them. And focus on getting, again, in front of your ideal avatar. So really, really understanding who is the ideal avatar. I think some people just in general, they try to go after like too many people. Like really hone in on like who, as a financial professional, who do you want to serve? And what certain age bracket, what certain challenges do they have, what financial products may they be interested in, like whatever the case may be. Also, with what you all do, it's probably a lot easier to close deals in person. So even if you generate leads online, if you have the ability to, meet them in person or stuff like that. I mean, Zoom is really well. We get tons of clients. We've never met a person ever, but a lot of times, people want to build a real relationship with you, especially generally with people that are older. They want to actually meet in person. They want to meet face to face, and generally, it's easier to close people in person as well. You also want to develop your own framework for speaking with leads. Talking about what is the journey. How can you help them? What other success stories have you had? What other results have you gotten people? What other testimonials do you have? Thinking about all that type of stuff. All right, I think that's the last slide.
Wow, Ryan. I don't even know where to begin. Like, I know, like just so much great information you shared today. And I know there's a lot of financial services professionals and advisors who want to learn how to leverage Facebook ads. And hopefully everybody is starting to see a theme, right? And even our speakers today, talking about unique value proposition and sales funnel. If someone is an ads newbie, like newbie, where should they get started?
That's a great question. So thinking about like what's the overall strategy, with ads, um, the job of ads, the goal is to really like amplify and get more eyeballs on what you already do. So thinking about like, well, why do you want to use ads? Like, what's the reason, what's the goal behind it? Like thinking about it from that perspective first. And then from there, especially people in this space, I think it really should be specifically lead generation. So directing people either to schedule a call, maybe get a free resource, maybe just learn more about the company. I think it definitely should be something around leads. Facebook has something called like a lead form where you don't even have to, have a great website or anything like that. You can direct them right to a form that Facebook uses, where they can put in their name, email, phone number, maybe other stuff you want to collect. And then from there, it'll go right into like an Excel sheet, or you can link it to your CRM, like Active Campaign or something like that. And then you literally can just get leads on demand, wake up and have X amount of leads in your database. That's really about working smarter, not harder. So I would definitely just think of like an overall lead campaign and then run that.
That's good. What other
Ryan, I have
questions?
a question.
Oh, go ahead, Lana.
Sorry. Um, what should we look for if we want to hire somebody to do Facebook ads or services that you provide? Like what kind of questions we should be asking because there's so many choices out there.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first thing is, who else have they worked with in your space? What other results have they gotten for people? Can they share testimonials? How much ad spend have they managed? Do they have a team? Like really looking at that stuff. You just want to get a good gauge on like, are they a newbie or like, do they really know what they're doing? I think that's important. Also, I think, you as a financial professional or anyone, not necessarily you in general, but also understanding this stuff to a degree. Otherwise, I see a lot of people get taken advantage of, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So that doesn't mean you have to be an expert, Facebook ad person. But if someone's sending you a report or they're doing stuff, like you want to kind of understand what that is. If you're talking about like leads and acquisition costs or clicks or click-through rate, like that stuff, you want to understand that stuff to a degree. But just really, understand like what the agency does, who they work with, what results have they got for other people.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Ryan, can you talk a little bit about how the financial professionals in the room can create an irresistible offer when a lot of them are offering the same types of services?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I know there are a lot of regulations in what you all do, so depending on that, like I'm familiar with FINRA and the SEC and that type of stuff. But like if there are any other bonuses or incentives, and it could even be stuff that you don't necessarily tell the client right away, meaning like if someone comes on, they get a welcome gift, they get different stuff, they get different add-ons, they get, monthly or weekly, different goodies or gifts or check-ins and stuff like that. I would really thinking about like what is everyone else doing? How can we provide more value within regulation and within laws and making sure I want to up and up with everything and in compliance and stuff like that. But like how can we provide more value and more touch points? So if they get like a monthly call or whatever, like can we make it bi-weekly if it makes sense? If like I said, it's hard with what you all do because you can't be like, well, we're going to offer it at a lower cost or something like that, if that's possible. But I really would look at it from a value perspective, like how can we provide more value than everyone else that still makes sense for our business where we're not, losing money. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's good. And it's food for thought, right? How to position ourselves to be the best choice for our
Right,
clients
exactly.
today.
Because when I worked in the financial industry, I worked at Vanguard, the company Vanguard, and their unique selling proposition is like no load investments. You know what I mean? So they pretty much beat the competition, whether it's Fidelity or whoever else, because they just have really, really low cost investments and still, you know, great investments, great returns. So it was like really, really hard to beat that because of that, you know, where it's like a lot of other companies were using Vanguard funds, but they were charging higher prices, you know, than actually going directly to the source where they could, you know, offer low cost or no load investments. So that was just an example that I seen in the industry of like they separated themselves from the competition just by that. And of course, if you have lower fees and lower costs, lower basis points, or no loads, that's going to give you a higher return. So, you know, thinking about stuff that way.
That's good.
I have a quick question about, does it make sense to look at the competition and see what they're doing? Can you look in terms of like ads or their social media? Do you kind of do research for your clients and say, I can do research for you to see who's in the area and does what kind of ads and what the return is? Do you provide that information? Can that be
Absolutely.
research?
Yeah, we do. And yeah, I think that's a great thing to do in general with ads, with the funnels, with the sales process. So yeah, I think that's a great thing to do and like seeing what other people are doing. And then again, like, okay, how can we see that? Maybe model it. How can we amplify what we do to make our stuff stand out more? So yeah, I think that's a great idea. And we do that as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone, any more questions for Ryan? You got the funnel doctor himself on the line. And what we'll do, Ryan, is we'll make sure that everyone gets your contact information if they have any questions.
Yeah, great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you showing up and sharing all your wisdom with us. It's a lot to think about, but we're planning. Oh, Jamie has a question. Hey,
Yeah,
Jamie.
I actually have I have a question. I think you weren't here for the previous session, but the previous speaker was talking about how you shouldn't put your pricing on your website, but then you're also talking about how you should disqualify as quickly. The earlier you can disqualify, the better. So what do you feel like about whether you should have pricing on the website?
Yeah, personally, like we don't put pricing on our main website, but we'll say like, you know, our services start at X amount, you know, are you willing and able to do that? So we're not saying like specifically a funnel costs 10,000, but we'll say like, again, you know, our services start at $5,000. Are you willing and able to make that investment? You know, so I think something like that is good without like actually putting the actual price or your service on the website. And other things we do are like we have an in-depth questionnaire when people schedule a call. So we'll ask, what's your current revenue? What's your monthly revenue? What's your advertising budget? Again, our services start at X. Are you able to do that? So certain questions like that, we can immediately disqualify people by knowing if they're at a certain revenue, if they're not at a certain revenue threshold, we know it's probably not a good fit. If they don't have the marketing budget we're looking for, it's probably not a good fit. If they say no, I'm not able to pay for these services, probably not a good fit. So stuff like that, I think is good.
Great
Ryan,
question.
sometimes I find it hard for people to fill out those questionnaires, and earlier in their, you know, you probably weren't on, like Jamie mentioned, but setting up those questionnaires, and sometimes people don't answer the questions, and do you take away that phone call? Do you keep that phone call? If they don't answer the intake
ours,
one?
yeah, with ours, they can't schedule unless they answer.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
That
so
makes sense.
that we just do it easily through like Calendly. But yeah, if they don't fill those questions out, they can't even schedule the call. And if it's not a good fit, but they still can answer the question and schedule. But if we see it's not a good fit, I'll just have my assistant like cancel the call, say, hey, it looks like you're probably not a good fit, but here are other options. You know, get one of our courses, or if you want to pay for a strategy session, you know, you can do that or something like that. But yeah, we don't do that. I know a lot of industries are different, you know, so you may want to take the call without knowing stuff, you know, but I know as you continue to grow and scale, like for what we do, it's extremely important to know that stuff up front. You know, we just really don't have a lot of time. I don't want to say waste, but if it's someone's not a good fit, like we want to really know that ahead of time.
Thank you.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. Well, Ryan, thank you again. Thank you,
You're
thank you,
very
thank you
welcome. Thank you for
for
having me.
bringing the fire today around Facebook ads, funnels. I think it's an important part of our overall marketing strategy that once we get it going and getting it systematized, and everybody here knows I'm big on systems, it just is the gift that keeps on giving, right? Bringing in those quality leads when you figure out what the right framework is.
Great. Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.